Oh, guys, did you hear about Israel and Iran? I get to say Iran because I had Iranian roommates and that's how they said it, so that's how I'm going to say it. It's crazy, right, guys? You know, they're bombing each other. We're fighting. We're heading into World War III, guys. Oh my God, what are we going to do, guys? It's so out of control. It's crazy, guys. And blah, 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 blah. You know, ever since coronavirus, the China virus, whatever you want to call it, I feel like I have made the decision, which made sense at first, I guess, to kind of get sucked into politics and current events because unfortunately back then when that sort of started happening, it was like the first time in my life where I felt like I needed to pay attention because something happening politically was actually starting to reach out and like affect my life. Before that, I like made a big effort to not care. It was just always like, oh, Trump, so bad, and oh, he's doing this, and we're gonna get him this time, and oh, we didn't get him, and it's just like I had this coworker at work who would not shut up about it, and it actually just kind of pushed me the other way, to be honest. Where I was like, why will you not shut up about this? But anyway, you know, when the Corona stuff was happening, I kind of got a little bit sucked into all this stuff, and I made a Twitter account, and it's X now, and I started to like follow all these like political people and all this current events, and started like getting into all this political stuff, and yeah, at a certain point, I think it became a huge waste of time, especially recently. You see, there's so many distractions online, guys. There's so many things disguised as a meaningful way to spend your attention, as like a meaningful way to spend your time, right? There's all these clever distractions, and it's all trying to suck you away from your real path and the real work that you could be doing in your life. And if your path is to be like this political commentator or this journalist or like this current events follower who he like follows all this stuff and he relays information to people, and you're going to like make money and you're going to live a good life by doing that, it's like by all means continue to follow all this stuff second by second, minute by minute, and get sucked in. But just like any other form of endless scrolling, whether it's, you know, pornography or Instagram reels or TikTok or whatever this kind of modern poison is, I've realized that one of the most cleverly disguised versions of this distraction is this addiction to following current events and following politics. And the reason that this one is so cleverly disguised is because you can follow this stuff on Twitter, you can follow this stuff on X, and you can kind of lie to yourself that this stuff is actually important or that this stuff pertains to your life. But aside from coronavirus, which I guess was a little bit of an outlier because that did start to actually affect your life a little bit, so much of this stuff just does not warrant your attention. Even if we are currently sliding into World War III, it really doesn't warrant your attention. Like up to the point where somebody's coming to your house and they're like sending you a message and they're saying like you're about to get, you know, like fucking drafted or something. It's like, okay, maybe I'll pay attention now, but like what does it matter in the long run? Like what does it actually matter if you're not being elevated by this information? Because at the same time that you're following all this stuff, at the same time you're like refreshing your X feed and you're making all these comments and you're arguing with people online, which is just a whole nother aspect of this whole thing, right? Like arguing with people online is just such a toxic thing because you don't even know, like, you just feel like a fool. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest, when you go back and you look at like these little online arguments you've made with random people. It's just such a like lower form of your energy. I don't know how to describe it. And half the time they're not even real. There's so many bots and things like that. Like you can kind of identify when somebody's a bot. And sometimes I'll be on like X and I'll see like what appears to be a human being having a argument with what is probably like AI, and he's like too stupid to actually tell that it's AI. and you're like, he's arguing with AI. It's like, what kind of terrible way to like spend your time and energy? So I say stop with following current events and stop with following politics. It was exciting for a little bit. Trump won the election. It's over. And, maybe you can get some information about local stuff, like participate in like voting locally or whatever in the meantime. But it's like, stop wasting your time with this stuff, guys. Like, it's not helping you follow your path. And if your path is to elevate yourself, your path is to become like a stronger version of yourself and make more money and get better style or be more social and just like take your life seriously and take your life from point A to point B, it's not helping you. You're only wasting your time following all this crap, honestly. And it's almost more draining in a way than like Instagram or TikTok or even like fucking looking at some ass or something, right? Like, because at least maybe that stuff can be like a little bit like lighthearted and can kind of inspire you. But like so much of the political and this current event stuff, it's just like showing you like the worst version of the world, where you're seeing people acting like the lowest form of humanity possible. You're seeing like people taking shits in the middle of the road and like cops shooting people and people shooting cops and people hitting people with cars and people dying and buildings getting bombed and like aerial military footage of like drones just like flying into trucks and killing people and just all this like horrendous dark natured crap. And it's just as time goes on, I'm like, what is the point of following all this so closely? And I don't think really you can argue that it's healthy. So I think you would need to begin to shut off more and more of the stimulus and kind of be more alone with yourself, I think, and like ask yourself, like, who do you really want to be? Like, where do you really want to go? And no matter what happens, whether the bombs drop or they don't, your only choice is to work towards that goal. This is the dichotomy I spoke about in one of my earliest videos, where it's like, no matter what happens in the future, you don't have a choice whether you want to work towards your goal or not. Because if you don't work towards your goal, you're guaranteed to fail. And you can't just use this excuse of like, well, maybe the bombs are going to drop, so what's the point? It's like, the point is there's only one option that takes you to success, and that's working towards your goal. And that's the only way. And if you let anxiety and you let the what ifs and you let fear and you let this constant desire to be like watching and looking and waiting and seeing what happens, if you let all this stuff take over, you're guaranteeing yourself failure. There's only that singular path to success, and that's working towards success, whatever it looks like for you, and believing that you can actually succeed and believing that things are going to be okay, because, no matter how weird things have gotten year after year, we're still here. So it's like a shit test, like, if you've heard of how like women can shit test you or something, it's almost like a shit test from the world to see if you're like that little beta boy that's going to be like, oh, I'm scared, I can't do anything. It's like the world, it's like a fucking movie playing out in front of it's like a scary movie or something, or it's like, look at this, oh, crazy stuff. And meanwhile, 50 years go by and you're like, well, I could have ignored that and I could have like been somebody. But because I wanted to just freak out about politics all day, now I'm nothing. Nothing happened. And I don't get to like be a G or whatever I wanted to be. I didn't even try because I was so worried about nonsense. So you still have the opportunity to fight for the life that you want to have. But if you check out and you just say, oh, the world's gone crazy, that there's no point, and it's just going to guarantee that you will fail and your life it'll evolve into the chaos that you're watching. Because whether it's like a bomb dropping or whether it's poverty or it's just living a life that you don't like, it's all kind of the same at the end of the day, right? It's like dying is all kind of the same, whether you die from like an asteroid or a bullet or whatever it is. It's all kind of the same. If you let your life devolve into less than what you want, it's all kind of the same, whether somebody else is doing it to you or you're doing it to yourself. So it's just a weird form of like procrastination. So forget all these political woes and like wanting to change the way things are in the world. It's just, you're guaranteeing ruin for yourself, and you can't do that. So personally, I began to shut off more and more from politics and current events. And it's like every now and then I'll open X and I'll kind of just read for a few minutes, and I'll like catch up on like what's happening, and I'll just try to like kind of open it and quickly glance and be like, okay, I'm caught up now. But I'm not like following it like it's like a movie, or following it like I need to be like, you know, how you like pull the scroll thing down and it refreshes, be like, okay, who just tweeted something new in the last like minute and a half? I don't need to freak out over all this stuff, because there's more to life than that. And you're not going to be happy doing that, and you're not going to be focused. You're going to be distracted, and you're not going to be following your life's purpose. You're not going to be being as productive as you could be when you're constantly checking events and looking into like the worst nature of things, the worst nature of humanity. What you could be doing with that time is like training or reading or writing or doing something positive. And I know it's hard because it feels like everything is going crazy around you, but you need to just kind of shut that stuff off, and you need to interface more with your immediate surroundings and what you can do as your own individual person that will like raise your life to a better level. So, you know, here I am making this video. I'm not checking Twitter. I'm not worrying about what's happening in the rest of the world. If I get a knock on the door and somebody tells me they want me to go fight in the Middle East or something, okay, I'll cross that bridge when it comes. But I'm not going to waste my life caught up in the fear of like what could happen. It's like there's a quote that's like, I've had a great many fears, and most of them just been in my own mind, right? I don't want to be distracted by this stuff anymore. I don't want to waste any more of my life thinking about this stuff, or viewing this stuff, or watching this stuff, or just caring about this stuff, honestly. Like I want to figure out what I want out of life, and like how am I going to get it? I want to start to be more selfish and focused. Like, what do I want out of life? What's going to make me happy? Like, who do I want to be, right? Like what's the life I want to live? And I don't want to be distracted by anything, even if it seems like it's important, even if it can really cleverly disguise itself as something important. I don't want to see it. I don't care anymore. It's like, it's taken me a while to learn that, but I'm a bit older, and I'm starting to learn that there's like onions to this distraction game. There's like the obvious things that are obvious distractions, but then there's like things that like seem important, and it's like, no, those are distractions as well. So it's just all it's a big facade, right? The idea that we can just watch things so closely, and we can monitor them, we can argue with people online, and we can change things that way, or that like this stuff is deserving of our time and our attention and our energy. It's just it's like a black hole, honestly. And if you really want to change the world, you need to change yourself. And it's cliche, but it's true. You know, if you want it to change the world, you need to get to the best spot in life that you can get, so that you can help people, and you can help people around you, and that you can feel good for yourself, honestly. Actually, just be more selfish. Like, who cares about everybody else, honestly? You just need to be like single-minded and think like, how do I get to the best spot? Like, I'm tired of trying to change the whole world and save everybody from like political crap. I want to just live a good life myself, right? If you're being honest, that's probably what you want too. I want to just be like comfortable in my own life. I want to like a good spot, and where I'm kind of thriving, and I have like agency over myself. And I think that's the kind of stuff you should be thinking of. Like, how do I get my life to a good spot where I feel like I'm not constantly treading water, I'm not like drowning in bills, I'm not drowning in debt, I'm not like living by other people's sort of guidelines. Like, I'm living by my own path, my own desires, and I'm not being like outplayed by other people who have more focus. And that's another thing. I think, you know, life is very competitive, and I don't think that like a lot of the winners out there who are really excelling in life are caring about this stuff. In fact, I know they don't. They have like a single-mindedness to them. They have like their blinders on, and they're just focused on like aiming and shooting. Like, what's the next objective? I'm pushing towards the next objective. I'm taking it down. Like, none of the champion MMA fighters, or none of like just anybody, none of like the musicians you like. I always kind of go back to this example, but they're not spending all their time reading about current events and wondering about the whole rest of the world. You just have to like let things go and let things be out of your control and focus on the stuff that you care about. So I think that's my timely message for you guys in this video. As things get crazier and crazier, is just to not let it fool you, not let it pull your attention away from the things that are important. Pull your attention back to the people that deserve it. Pull your attention back to yourself. Pull your attention to your own life and what you can do, right? Meditate on things that like help you. Like, put away the phone for a little bit and just like sit by yourself and just kind of wonder and see what comes up. Like, what's the most immediate thing that comes up, whether it's like you got to clean your room, or you got to study for this test, you got to go hit the gym. Start to kind of pull away from like all the external and move into the internal, and like listen to yourself more, because that internal compass is going to give you better guidance than anything else online. There's so many videos online that you can watch that are going to tell you, this is what you do during a breakup. This is what you do when you want to grow this channel. This is what you do when you want to get fit. This is what you do when you're trying to change your life. But sometimes it's like only you really know what's best for you. And I don't think we're spending enough time these days listening to ourselves, but maybe I'm getting a little bit off topic. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe and leave a comment and let me know what you think. And if you'd like to donate somehow, I've left a Cash App link in the bio. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this entrepreneurial stuff out. So there it is. If anybody wants to send me money, there's a Cash App link so that I can, maybe one day I'll say I made money off of YouTube, or I made money from helping people. But until we get the account monetized, there's a Cash App link in the bio, and you can donate that way. But yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It was nice talking to you guys. I'll catch you later.